Hey planner friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be planning from the 10th to the 16th of March in my A5 Archer and Olive notebook, and I'm using this super cute museum trip kit from Plannerface. I actually got a full kit for this one and it was kind of an accident, but I'm really glad that I did get a full kit for this one because I'm using it for this week when I've been to Berlin with my mum. So it's currently Monday the 17th and I am just sitting down to do all of my memory planning for the week. I'm also pairing this kit with these adorable underlays from Josephine Bow Designs in Hollow, and they're kind of like maps, so I thought for the first time I've travelled for a while it would be super cute to use these. And then I have 3 sheets of these, and then to go with them I've just pulled out some bits of Hollow from my stash. So I have these Laura Sticker Co confetti overlays, and then I have a couple of corners, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use this dot washi, but it's one of my options that I have, and these are from Tilly Journals. So just before we get started, I do PR for Plannerface, so you can use my code in the description to save yourselves a little bit of money and also mention me for a seasonal freebie. As you can see from my layout, I'm going for something a little bit different again this week just because I had so much to pack into the beginning of the week. So we're going to see how this turns out. I have a plan. I don't know how well the plan is going to happen. But I'm going to start with my half of a sidebar. So I'm thinking of using this girl in the sidebar, and my plan for the sidebar was I was going to use a little bit of deco, and then I have a March script from Plannerface in Hollow, and then if I pop her at the bottom, yeah, I've got loads more space than I thought I would have. Okay. I kind of changed up what kit I was going to use for this week at the last minute, so I have slightly different stickers to what I was expecting. Maybe if I use this one as my like focus for the week, because I don't have that usual mini kit page. And then I'm going to use these tickets and just trim those to fit. And then I'll pop her here. Yeah, so originally I was going to have a toolbox, which is why I've drawn the sidebar out to have like the space for a toolbox in. But I guess, no, it's not enough space for a habit tracker. I didn't want to use a habit tracker this week because I knew that I wasn't going to be checking my planner every day because I didn't take it with me. So I might move her down. And then swap this out for a full box. Yeah. So pop a full box in. Line up where I cut this. And then whack in a glitter header. Let's go for a green, just to finish off that sidebar. Okay, so slightly different sizing in the sidebar. Next we'll go in with my date covers, and I have pre-dated these. So I've gone for Hollow this week because I had those Hollow underlays, and then I've squished Monday into the sidebar so that I can have 4 full days, even though we did go on Wednesday, so Wednesday is going to be very squished up, but we did spend most of the day traveling. So yeah, I've thought about this week, well, before we went away I thought about how I was going to do this layout quite a lot, so I'm hoping that it'll turn out how I want it to, because this week was so much fun. So yeah, it's just me and my mum. We went to Berlin for the week and we packed so much into like 4 full days. We got back at like 2 in the morning last night, so I'm quite tired, but I had a little sleep in, and hopefully I don't sound too tired. but there's only an hour difference time-wise, so it's not like I'm going to be jet lagged or anything. While I'm here, I'm just going to pop in the bottom washi. So because this is a full kit, I've used the guidelines to pre-trim this. So it's super cute, kind of springy. It was quite cold, but there was a slight worry at one point when we were like getting ready to go and like keeping an eye on the weather that it was gonna be snowing. So I was quite glad that it wasn't snowing, because that's a bit too cold for me. Next up, we will do glitter headers. So I've used red, so we will go this kind of tan colour, and then orange. The original kit that I'd pulled out to use with for this week, I was really second guessing myself on the like hollow underlays going with it, because it just didn't suit it. But I think this kit is like bright enough to have hollow with it. Sometimes hollow just, I always think it goes with everything, and then the one kit that I'm like picking something out to go with, and I feel like once I've got them together it doesn't actually go. But yeah, I'm very happy that I accidentally bought this kit. Yeah, and then a green. Next we will move on to underlays, because I need to put all the underlays down. I'm doing a lot of extenders this week. This is going to be a little bit stressful, I think, but I have a plan. I'm going to stick to it. So let's go with all of my full box underlays first. I am going to have to be careful about covering up the lines between these underlays, because they will be obvious. I feel like I'm more likely to struggle to show off the underlays under all the plans than the other way around. Friday I was going to do my extender at the bottom. I did buy an extra sheet of these underlays. I got 16 instead of just 8, so hopefully I've got a little bit of wiggle room if I mess these up. I am concentrating quite a lot to put them down though, so might not be the best bit for talking. Sunday was going to have the extender at the bottom as well. I've kind of picked the extenders so that they're not all going to bulk up in the same spot, even though they are. But also on Sunday, the bit that I care the least about is the airport bit, which is at the end of the day. Then Saturday, I'm not having any boxes. I'm just doing a whole full day of underlays. Yeah, so I ended up picking out this kit because we did like a lot of museum stuff while we were in Berlin. So although I was originally going to go for like a travel theme, the museum theme kind of fit better, and I also felt like it went with the underlays better. The next stressful moment is extenders. So I'm doing 4 extenders this week. I'm not putting in a single full box just straight down on the page. So I've cut out a bunch of like bits of sticker. These are actually the middle of like some old full boxes. And we're going to make some little hinges out of these, kind of like how I did on my first video back. I do tend to use part of a reusable sticker album to do these. I think I'm gonna speed this up and come back. Okay, so for this last one, I'm gonna bring my reusable sticker book up here because I think I've got the hang of this now. So I stick the sticky side of the full box to the not sticky side of the little hinge that I've made, and then I flip it over, and then it's all very sticky. And then I take my underlay and I line it up on the back. And then I stick it down. Okay, I've had to trim like the tiniest bit off a couple of them, but that's not the end of the world. Oh, this is, oh no. Okay, well, this is the first one that I've messed up, so obviously it's the one that I've shown on camera. So because I want it to stick that way, I need sticky to sticky on the back of the full box so that I can then fold it over. And then stick it down at the bottom of this box here. And then I use my nail to just make sure that that hinge is really stuck down. Okay, and that's all of my extenders. I'm just going to go and fill in all of these little bits of base, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have all of the underlays down and all of the extenders in, and this looks very intimidating because it's like the most space I've had in a while for a spread. But it's also the first time that I've been abroad for a while, so I've still got a few bits of underlay left, so if we do run into any issues I might be able to salvage some. Next I'm going to add a little bit more sparkle with these glitter headers, and these are just the confetti headers from Laura Sticker Co. These are kind of old, I don't know if they're still available at all, but I've tried to not bring in any glossy overlays because pretty much everything is transparent, matte rather than transparent glossy. So there's a few bits like the planner face foil that I've brought in is not matte, but hopefully it won't look too unusual. I'm not 100% sure if I want to put either of the washies that I've pulled out over the bottom washi, because I quite like it how it is, and also I don't want this spread to end up looking like super foiled, although I mean look at it. it's so foiled. I mean, I don't know how well it's been picked up. Oh, it's been picked up very well on camera. Yeah, it's very shiny. So I might leave like overlays until we've got like everything down, because I'm not actually using any foil icons. So yeah, I'm gonna leave overlays for the full boxes for the end and see if I remember to actually put them in. This looks intense. Oh, also, I think perhaps this day I didn't actually want the other side of this full box. We'll see, I'll work backwards up that day, and I can always stick a full box over the underlay if I want to. Yeah, that's our base. Let's get cracking, I guess. Okay, so as always, I have my planning notes in front of me, and I have all of my stickers pulled out in my Planner Face reusable sticker album. So let's get stuck in. Monday was a weird day. So I drove to work. Sorry about my chair. So I drove to work as normal, and when I got to work, we had no water. So after about an hour of them trying to fix whatever was going on, they said go home because we have like no lab work could be done because there was no water and no there was no toilet facilities, and then also the supermarket near our work didn't have water. It got turned on by the time I got home because I have like an hour drive home, but yeah, I got to have an extra work from home day because there was no water at work. So it meant that I had a day at home, and then I trained after work. I was going to put lifting journal as well. Oops. Hopefully we don't pull up too much of the foil, because I feel like, oh good, I feel like today is going to be the day that I have a lot of things moving up and down, getting pulled up and getting put back down. Although I need to remember that I've given myself like loads of space, and I want to show off the underlays, so I don't need to cram everything in. Then on Monday evening, I just ended up playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca to round off the evening. So to mark in work, I have one of these spring vanillas from Papershire. And then for the water not being at work, I have this Everything is Fine squidge from Stick with the Plan Co. For doing my lifting journal, I just have the notebook doodle from the kit. I have the dumbbell doodle for a dumbbell doodle from Plannerface. I'm using version 2 this week for training. I'm not using my custom scripts because I just had 2 very condensed training sessions at the beginning of this week. And then I've got a vanilla from Papershire for playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca. On to Tuesday, again, I just worked from home this day, as I normally do. Let's use red. Yeah, so I worked from home as I usually do. I'm gonna be indecisive again because I have 6 things to fit in this day. Don't have my usual patterned quarter box, so I'm going to use a rounded patterned quarter box for working from home. After work I trained and I was going to use a green for that. So I kind of did 2 very condensed training sessions on Monday and Tuesday and haven't trained since. I then did my packing. I'd already packed like quite a lot throughout the week before so that I was ready for today or this evening. And I then led on the floor with Reggie for a bit because I haven't spent this much time away from him, so I wanted to spend a bit of time with him before I went. And then I was going to put in that I had, you know, this sort of everything shower before you go away. So we'll try and squeeze that in. And then right at the end of the day, my mum arrived. I might have to move these things around. So I'm going to use this tan box for mum arriving. And then squish everything up. Yeah, so all of the days that I was away I have plenty of space, but this day not so much. Okay, so training, squish it in there. Then I'm going to just switch a few things round so that I don't have the tan so close to each other. Oh, there goes my computer turning off. You will fit. I will make you fit. Maybe if I just use something a little bit smaller for my mum arriving, because I basically just walked Reggie down to meet her from the train station. Ooh, what about a flag? Yeah, let's use this flag. Probably cover up the actual flag bit. Here's here for work. I have another Spring Vanilla laptop. For training, I have Dumbbell Doodle from Plannerface. For lying on the floor with Reggie, I have the Paw Print Doodle from the kit. And then for packing, I'm just using a bit of deco from the kit. For the sort of everything shower, I have the Bathtub Doodle from the kit. And then for mum arriving, I have this cute vanilla from Papershire that I'm just going to trim so it fits in the box. Nice. Okay, moving on to Wednesday. I know that I can fit in like a quarter box up here from the last time I did a day like this. So I'm going to use this tan one. Yes. And then the first thing that I'm marking in is that we had some Prosecco at the airport. So I can pretty much line this up with the top of the box. Perfect. So the character might peek over, but that's fine. Then I'm going to use, I think, one of these to mark in our flight. So obviously, like, the flight was like an hour and a half a day and we spent a lot of time in the airport, but the fact that we had Prosecco at the airport is kind of more important than this flight took up some of the day. Cool. Once we got to Berlin, we then had to travel across to our hotel. So I think I'm going to use one of these. And we then checked in and kind of chilled in the hotel room. I've got something quite big out for like checking in. Okay, yeah. We then went on like a little evening walk, which I'm gonna use a little thing for. And it is kind of an orange little thing, but the thing above it has more stuff than just orange. So I'll squish that in. And then for this evening, we had some food at a place called Swing Kitchen, which is like vegan burgers, which was delightful. And then we went up to the Brandenburg Gate to see it all like lit up. I've got a big thing for that as well. Okay, just gonna work my way up from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'll say what all these are for us in a second. Just remembered that it's really difficult to center things because I have nothing to like lean on. I might use like a bit of solid washi. Yeah, that fits. Oh God. Okay. Okay, so they seem a little bit wonky, but I'll get over it. Okay, so for Wednesday being a travel day, I've just got some shoe deco from the kit. For drinks at the airport, I have a little wine doodle from Plannerface. And then for our plane, I have a plain doodle. I think that's left over from a Plannerface monthly kit. I'm then using the car doodle from the kit to mark in that we got the train. Kind of it's a car, but we had to get the S-Bahn and the U-Bahn into the centre. And right at the bottom, I'm marking in us going for an evening walk with the trainer doodle from the kit. And then I had this bag, which I might trim the bottom off of to mark in like checking in and getting into our hotel room and everything. So we were staying like quite near Checkpoint Charlie, like kind of between Checkpoint Charlie and Unter den Linden. So yeah, really good like travel connections. I've then got, oh, I need to move her down so she's not in the way of the hinge. I've then got this Lottie from Stick with the Plan Co eating a burger to mark in Swing Kitchen. So I originally went to a Swing Kitchen in Vienna like years ago, and I saw that there was one in Berlin and I knew that I could eat there, and that their food was really good. So we did a lot of like street food. I've then got this sightseeing vanilla for like the first kind of sightseeing thing we did. And then for drinks in the hotel bar, I have these wine glass doodles, which I think are left over from a Plannerface monthly. And then once, like we were knackered this evening, so we just sat in the hotel, we just went to bed quite early. But there's this character which does like the overnight sort of off time for this German TV kids channel called Kika, and he's called Bernard Das Brot, and he's just this depressed loaf of bread, and he's one of my favourite things in the world. So I immediately put on the TV and we watched some Bernard Das Brot, and I had no idea what was going on, but he was in space and it was great. Okay, so that was the first day of our trip. Now we'll move on to Thursday, and I think I'm going to work backwards to see if I want to keep this as like a big bit of space. I don't want to be like all cramped up, but I also don't want to run out of boxes. Like these are the 3 most like squished up days, I think. We are going to start with some bar drinks in the evening. So that is going to be small because it's the least important thing that we did that day. So drinks in the evening. We went to a place called Frittenwerk for dinner this day, which is again sort of like street food, but that's my sort of thing, like vegan street food. I'm gonna I've just used red. That'll be fine. I'm going to use a panned quarter box for Frittenwerk. And oh, I've gone all sorts of wrong with these colour choices. Okay, I'm gonna use a different panned quarter box for Frittenwerk. I feel like I am going to use this like entire kit up and maybe have to go into my stash, but we'll see. Right, Frittenwerk. I then want something that's not too big, but also not too small. I think a solid bit of washi. To mark in, we did our first photo automat this day, or like photo cabin. Next I'm going to put in that we went to the Checkpoint Charlie Museum. So this was quite like a big museum. What have I got? Yeah, I've got a big thing to put in for it. This side. So I'm going to use a square half box for that. And then before that we went to a place called Dean and David for lunch. Don't have a huge thing to mark that in. Oh, I remembered I have patterned little things as well. So I'll put one of those in for Dean and David. I initially wanted to go to this place that turned out to be one of those sort of like ghost kitchens that you have to order online from, which was a little bit annoying, but I'll get over it. Before that we went to the DDR Museum, which was a really, really interesting museum. One of my friends recommended it. I've been to Berlin before, but my mum hasn't, so some of the things that we did I had done before, but then because we were there for a bit longer, I tried to fit in things that I hadn't done before as well, and the DDR Museum was one thing that I missed last time. So adding that in. We also went up to the dome of the what's it called, Berliner Dom, which was like 267 steps. I was really surprised that my mum agreed to do it. So I'm gonna mark that in with one big box, but two things, and then also mark in that we visited the Berliner Dom. It's like the big cathedral basically. Square. Yeah, I'm not gonna need this one. In the morning, the first thing that we did, because we walked to the Berliner Dom from where we were, was that we walked through Babelplatz. And past the Deutsche and Französische Doms. And then we'd started off the day. We started off this day the same way we started off every day. We went to this place called Back Factory, which is like next to Checkpoint Charlie. That's gonna be annoying, but I'm going to live with that, for breakfast, and the breakfast there was really good. I'm going to add in this full box. It's sad to cover up the overlay, but it'd be even worse to try and peel it off. Okay. Cool, so for back work in the morning, I have a little food doodle from Plannerface, which is like a croissant, even though I didn't actually eat croissant the whole time I was there. For Babelplatz, I am adding in the book doodle. For the Berliner Dom, I didn't know how to mark in like a church. I have no churchy stickers at all, but I had this little hut, so I'm adding that in. For all of the steps, I have this Bunilla who's sweating that I'm going to just trim down a lot, and I'm going to put them at the bottom, and then I'm just going to use these sunglasses for the panoramic view. For the DDR Museum, I've just got this TV because there was some bits that were like just kind of sit down and watch, and there was a lot of, there's like interactive stuff there, so it is really interesting. For lunch, I've got Dean and David, so it's kind of salady bowls. It was really good. for the Checkpoint Charlie Museum, I have a couple of these museum-y type stickers from Papershire that I think I'm using like 1 or 2 of the whole way through. For the photo automat, I have this camera doodle, which I think was a freebie from Plannerface. For Fritton work, because it's like fries and street food, I just have a thing of chips. And then for drinks in the evening, I have the wine doodle. Okay, so I'm really happy with how this first half of the week has turned out. Now we can move on to the second half of the week. So on Friday, I'm going to start at the top and work my way down, and hopefully not end up with like loads of unused space, because yeah, this fitted in really nicely with not having anything under the extender. First things first, I'm going to use this green, I think. So we started off, we woke up, we went and got breakfast, but I'm not marking that in every single day. We went to Alexanderplatz and we went to see the world clock, and there's a fountain there as well. But the main reason we were over at Alexanderplatz first thing in the morning was because we were going to go up the TV tower. So that'll be on that side. So I will put in this square box for that. While we were up there, they have specific cocktails, so I got a cocktail. I think I did that last time we went up there as well, and my mum was like, why are you drinking at 9:30 in the morning? And it was 10:30 where I was, so it was fine. But yeah, I'm gonna add that in. And then over by Alexanderplatz, there was my favourite donut shop in the whole world, which is Brahma Bal's Donuts. So I'm going to mark that in with a, what is this called? A solid washi. We then went over to see the Brandenburg Gate in the daytime. Oh my god, there's so many different stickers that I haven't used yet. I'm not used to having this much like choice because I've got a full kit. There. We then went back to the Brandenburg Gate to have a look at it in the daytime, like I said. And then we had a little trek around the... Oh, I was not going to use something that big for that. Okay, because we'd already been there once, I'm going to use a little thing. Maybe a patterned little thing. Okay, so patterned little thing for Brandenburg Gate again. And then we went around the Tiergarten and looked at some of the monuments while we were waiting to go for our slot to go up onto the Reichstag building. So for that, I think I'm going to use this one. So I wasn't like super bothered about the going up on the Reichstag. That's going to be annoying, isn't it? I'm going to use a bigger box because it's something that I'd like pre-planned. Yeah, I wasn't that bothered about it, but my mum said that she wanted to go, and it was actually really interesting because they had like a whole section up there on like the history of the building and how it was like why they rebuilt it with this glass dome, and then you can walk the whole way up the glass dome. So it's super interesting. Because I've done this here, I'm just gonna roll with it. After the Reichstag, we started walking back to the hotel. We went to the Holocaust Memorial. I didn't really know how to mark this in, so I'm just going to be very frank and put it in with just a box and some sort of... I've grabbed a little bit of deco from the kit. Do I want to put we went up in the dome? I haven't pulled something out for that. I struggled so much pulling stickers out for today. Maybe I'll make that bigger because we did spend like a decent amount of time there. Last time I went, I just walked around the memorial bit at the top that's like open. But we went in the underground bit this time, and it was... I'm really glad I did it. There's so much like information about who these people were, and it was, yeah, I'm really glad that I went, but it's not the sort of thing that you'd want to go to like multiple times. After that actually maybe not that one. After that we found a cafe and went for a drink. And then I only have 2 more things to add in, and I didn't pick out a particularly big thing for either of them. So I'm going to mark in going out for dinner. We went to a like Italian place that it turns out is like a chain, and we have one in England. So that was a bit annoying because I don't mind going to chains if I wouldn't get to go to them at home. But yeah. And then in the evening there was a pianist in the hotel bar, so I'll mark that in, and then I'm just gonna end off the day with a glitter header to fill in that space, or maybe a bit of just like patterned washi. Yeah, fill in that space. So for the world clock we have a Banilla holding a globe. For the TV tower I have this Banilla Amaze, because you go up, it's really high up, and then you just walk the whole way around it and look at all the different sights you can see around Berlin. For my cocktail I've just got a Lottie that I'm going to trim again. And then for Brahma Bowls I have a donut. I think this was from Pubman and Chub Girl, I think. I got it at Southwest Planner Club, got like a whole sheet of donuts. Before going to the Brandenburg tour again, I didn't know what to put in, so I just put a coffee cup. For the Tiergarten, I have a little truck with flowers on it. It was still very wintry looking, but it was good. For the Reichstag and the Dome, I had this Vanilla in a little like glass cloche sort of thing. So that's kind of dome-ish. That'll do. I just have a bit of deco for the memorial, and then some florals for drink. Like I had a drink and Mum had some coffee and cake, I think. And then dinner. We didn't go immediately from coffee and cake to dinner. We like kind of went back and sat in the hotel for a bit. Then for the evening I just have this music note icon. I realised I didn't actually have any like live sort of music thing that wasn't like a rock show. So okay, that was Friday. I'm not happy that these are kind of half covered, but also I've done it twice now, so it looks like I did it on purpose. On Saturday we started off with a long trip on the train. So we got the U-Bahn, and we went to the Olympic Stadium. This is like the 1936 Olympics, which is now like just a regular stadium, and my mum likes a bit of football, so it was quite interesting for her to go to the stadium aside from all of the history of it, but I found the history of it really interesting too. We then went for some coffee and cake. I'm not super keen on having these two reds right next to each other, but we'll get over it. We then went to Charlottenburg. We did one of the tours inside the palace, and then we also did the kind of walk around the grounds, which I'm going to mark with a green. Oh my god, yeah, so I didn't have as much to mark on this day, which is why I didn't give it an extender. But am I gonna move things around? No. We then did some more drinks. I use a red. Yeah. I think I can mark something else in here as well, actually. Yeah, I've got loads of this tan colour left at the moment. My feet were absolutely killing me this day, so we just kind of went back to the hotel, and then went back to the bar. And then we went for some drinks. And then I was going to have a little thing right at the end of the day, so that can be red. out for curry. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop this in here for being really tired. I was gonna originally use it for the long train trip up here, but let's see if I have something else. I'm gonna use these coffee bits from the kit. Okay, for the stadium, I pulled out this bit of deco from that Olympic kit that I used last summer, and then I also have a football. Yeah, this was the only bit of deco left from that kit, the Olympic kit that I used last summer, that actually had the rings on, so that will stand up straight. Yeah, I like that. And then we have the coffee cup doodle from the kit for coffee and cake. For inside, I have another, well, inside the Schloss, I have another one of these museum banolas. And then for outside the Schloss, I have kind of a spring banola. I've put drinks in twice. Okay, so I've got drinks, another food doodle for curry, and then in the evening I was watching Astro Bot, so popped that in. That's like a documentary vanilla sheet, but it works. And then I need, what am I going to put in there? Oh, that my feet were killing me. Yes. Okay, I've got these shoes from a Planface doodle sheet. Okay, moving on to Sunday. This was yesterday. So the first thing we had to do in the morning, unfortunately, was to check out of our hotel. So I will use a little flag for that. So our flight was like late in the evening, so we had the whole day to still do stuff. So the first thing we did was we went over to the East Side Gallery and the, I'm probably going to butcher this, Oberbaumbrücke. My German isn't very good. So I've got Oberbaumbrücke, and then I think I'll use one of these for the East Side Gallery. So that's like a piece of the, like a 1 kilometer long bit of the Berlin Wall that is painted by like street artists and stuff, and it's super cool. Unfortunately, a lot of the art is still relevant today. We then stopped for some drinks. My mum had coffee, I had a cocktail. I was still on holiday, so still in holiday mode. Yeah, that one. We then went over to the Kaiser Wilhelm Gedächtniskirche. That is probably terribly pronounced, but it's like it's a memorial church that got bombed. So it's just like the kind of husk of this church. It's really interesting. We then did another photo automat. I'm going to use a patterned little thing for that. And then we went to Traby World and the Traby Museum. So like they're these really crappy cars that you can actually like do what they call a Traby Safari and like drive one around as like a guided tour, but I did not want to drive one of those. But yeah, we spent the afternoon there, and then we sat in the hotel bar, even though we'd like checked out. We sat in the hotel bar for a bit in the evening, well, the early evening, like late afternoon, because I was just exhausted. I was so done. We then started heading back to the what's the word, airport. I was going to say plane station, but we had to go to a train station first, so we ended up getting like one of those double-decker trains that they have in Europe. So that was fun, although it was absolutely packed. We got to go on the double-decker train. And then I wasn't going to put this in, but I have space. So I kind of reduced what I was going to put in because I didn't want to run out of space for the important stuff. But now I actually have space for it. So I'm going to put in that I had my last little vegan currywurst and chips for my dinner at the airport. We pretty much did nothing at the airport because we were both exhausted. Our flight was then delayed. Love that for me. Never been on a plane home that left on time, I swear. But I did get to see a plane getting de-iced, so that was fun. Like, we all were on the plane, and then they were like, we're gonna have to go to the de-icing bay before we're allowed to take off. So that we taxied round to like this random spot in the middle of like the tarmac, and this like truck came out and just sprayed a load of de-icer all over the plane, specifically like the wings, because there was some ice buildup on the wings apparently. So then we had our train home, our flight home even. We then had to get like a bus back to the centre of Bristol, and then my partner picked us up. But I'm just going to add in, yes, I have the right colour left and everything. I'm just going to add in that we were home sweet home. So yesterday was like a really long day. Like, I was knackered. We got home at, I think, because of the time difference, like obviously it's only an hour time difference, but we got home at like 2 a.m. to us. And bear in mind, we've been doing so much that we've been going to bed at like 10. And it's like, it's me and my mum, and I like to sleep, and we did a lot of walking. I think we averaged like 18,000 steps a day. This is deco from the kit. This is a Bunilla for Papershire. For the Eastside Gallery, I have these paintbrushes because it's like all street art. For coffee and cocktails, I have this coffee cup doodle. For the church, I didn't know what to mark in church with, same as the other day, so I've just got this map, which is deco from the kit. We then did the photo automat, so I have another camera doodle. And then there was this like learner car from Papershire, but I felt like it fit the whole like Traby Museum situation pretty well. I've then got an exhausted Lottie. Oh look, I've done it again. It looks like I did it on purpose now. And then a car to mark a train again. And then our flight. I was going to use this to mark in the, oh it actually does fit. So delays and de-icing. And then I have this Bunilla with a coffee. I don't drink coffee, but that's to mark home sweet home. I'm just going to find something for here. So I've got another fork and knife doodle from my stash. No, so that is my week. I am going to add a little bit more sparkle to it, I think. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to mess with the bottom washi, but I've got some corners from Tilly Journals that I think I'm going to use just to add a little bit of sparkle to my full boxes. I broke one of my nails in the airport yesterday, and so I took all of my like long nails off today. Like, they weren't fake, they were like my real nails, but they broke. So I'm really struggling to get stickers off sticker paper today because I've lost my claws. I also have these from Laura Sticker Co, so I think I'm going to pop just one overlay over here. We've done all the other corners, so we'll do one this way around. So I really like these corners from Tilly Journals because they're on transparent matte. When you just put them over a corner, it doesn't look weird. I'm going to leave this one because it's going to be thick enough already with having an underlay under it as well. I think that's the right amount of sparkle for this spread. So yeah, I'm going to go fill all this in. This is all of my stickers down for the week, and I'll be back in a minute with the final spread. Okay, so here is the spread all filled out, and I have hand cramp after writing all of this, so I'm really glad that I got it all done in one go. I am so happy with how this spread has turned out. There's like that beautiful shine from the underlays, you can still see them peeking through, and you can still pretty much tell that they're supposed to be like map underlays. I've fitted in more than I thought I would, so I've got a few bits that are a bit squished up, and yeah, I'm just really happy that this has turned out nicely because I had a wonderful week and an amazing time exploring Berlin, and kind of gutted that I have to go back to work tomorrow, but that's always the way with holidays. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!